Hey, thanks for finding us on YouTube. This is the Fox 26 Tropical Update. I'm meteorologist John Dawson. We're here every day. A little bit after 4 p.m. is when we get things every kind of updated and posted for you to check out. So if you're finding this on a Monday, come back on a Tuesday. If you're here on Sunday, again the next day, all week long, every day, a little bit after 4 p.m., you want to find the latest of what's happening out in the tropics. And we've really had a stretch in the Atlantic, at least, where things have been quiet. Things are still relatively quiet in the Pacific, but that is where we are seeing some potential for some action. We'll put it that way. The National Hurricane Center identifying this very large red area here that's shaded in as potential for development of a tropical cyclone. Within the next 5 days, they're putting those chances at about 80%, so that's really high. But even now in the 2-day expectations, there's a 40% chance that something would develop. So I'm going to go ahead and say most likely this would happen about 3 days from now, but you know how it goes. Sometimes things can kind of get a little bit organized a little faster than others out in the Pacific like this. Generally speaking, though, expected to continue to head to the west. So at this time, it looks like it would be something that wouldn't be threatening land masses at this point. So we'll continue to kind of keep an eye on things. As I mentioned, over in the Atlantic, things remain quiet. And there's a lot of different factors that go into that. First of all, it's not surprising that at the end of July, things are somewhat quiet. But when we get into August, we'll definitely be watching things to ramp up a little bit. Now, one thing we'll definitely watch in August are these sort of plumes of the dust, that Saharan dust that comes off of Africa and then gets mixed in with everything and tracks across the Atlantic. These, again, are helpful in July, but things are sort of quieter in July anyway. But when we get into August, these are particularly helpful because we do begin to see just overall more formation. And while this dust does like this won't completely stop something from developing, it certainly will kind of deter it. And if something already is developed, it will help kind of keep it from strengthening very much. So while we're, again, appreciative of the dust that's out there right now and certainly take track of it, and notice that this is our forecast leading into the beginning of the week, beginning to enter the Caribbean a little bit more. And it will stay further to the south, not necessarily impacting us along the Gulf Coast as much as it sometimes happens once we get into next weekend. But we'll definitely be looking for more of this, particularly when we are in August, because those will definitely be helpful to prevent things from developing, and that's kind of what I'd like to see, is not a whole lot of development in August. But statistically speaking, August and September are when we definitely expect things to kick up a little bit. I hope you're already following me on social media. If you're not, I'll give you an official invitation. I'm at John Dawson, Fox 26. I use each of these a little bit differently. Twitter is the right now stuff that's happening out there, as far as especially when there's severe weather in the Houston area. Facebook is a little bit more in depth. We can talk about things a little bit more in conversation. And then when we get into Instagram, I have a little more fun there, but also definitely where my hurricane preparedness segments get a little bit more information. So if you're here for hurricanes, that's a good place as far as the preparedness goes to follow me on Instagram. Again, I'm at John Dawson, Fox 26. As I mentioned at the beginning of this clip, we'll be back here again tomorrow. Make sure you check us out.